Welcome to KellieBom Yoga Studios, otherwise known as my living room or dining room, whatever. Anyways, so today we're going to do a 45-minute class, and we're going to keep it pretty low key because it's like 100 degrees outside. It's super hot, super sticky, super humid. A couple of things that would be handy to have: definitely grab a water bottle. We're gonna make a point of staying hydrated today. It's really important in this heat. And grab a belt or a strap, and we'll use it during our practice today. But if you don't have a belt or a strap, that's cool too, no worries. Okay, so welcome. Let's get started. Coming into a comfortable seat at the top of our mats, grounding down through the sit bones. Inhaling deeply, big deep breath all the way down into the bottom of your tummy. Exhale fully through the nose. Grounding down through your sit bones. With every inhale, lengthening through the spine, lengthening through the neck, reaching the crown of your head towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, allowing your chest to deflate, your shoulders to drop, but maintaining that length in your spine. And maybe engaging that ujjayi breath, a little constriction in the back of your throat, a little Darth Vader breath on the exhale. And just sending your awareness down into your physical body. Sirens going by. It's not very zen, eh? But that's Toronto. Sending your awareness down into your physical body and taking note of all the little places inside of you where you might be holding on to stress or tension or pain in your body and your muscles. And on your next deep inhale, sending the oxygen into the places inside of you that need it the most. Big, deep, cleansing breaths. Inhale, both arms up into the air, palms facing each other, gazing up at the space in between your palms. Exhale, bring it down through center. Inhale up. Full breaths. Exhale down. This one's different. Inhale up. Exhale, bringing the right hand to the left knee and the left arm behind you, twisting open, looking over the left shoulder. Twisting from the core, twisting from the shoulders. And maybe finding a little bit more of a twist on the exhale. Inhale, both arms up into the air. Exhale, left hand comes to the right knee. Right arm behind you like a strong second spine. Twist it open, looking over your right shoulder. Maybe giving that right knee a little tug with your left hand. And finding a little bit more space on the exhale. Inhale, both arms up into the air. Exhale, bring it down through center. With your hands on your knees, long, tall spine. We're going to make big circles with the torso, moving from the hips, keeping those sit bones grounded into your mat, grounded into the earth. Coming around the front, lift from the chest. Coming around the back, hollow out through the small of your back. Let's switch directions. And coming back into a neutral spine, let's come onto our hands and our knees. Coming into a tabletop position, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Inhale, looking up at the ceiling, pressing your belly button down into the mat. Exhale, tucking your chin, arching your spine, pressing down through your upper back and the palms of your hands. Inhale, looking up at the ceiling, pressing your belly button down into the mat. Exhale, tucking your chin, arching your spine, pressing down through your upper back, through your arms and the palms of your hands. Returning back into neutral and taking a look over your right shoulder like you had a tail and you were trying to see it. Let your hips fall down to the left. This is a side bend. Take a deep breath over here on this side. Seal it in. Coming back around into neutral. Other side, take a look over the left. Let those hips fall down towards the right. Big deep breath. Coming around, bringing it back up into center. Tucking your toes, lifting your hips, and sending them up and back. Downward facing dog. We're going to hang out here for a couple of breaths. Just give your body a chance to let the hamstrings open up. Give your head a gentle little shake. Let the muscles in your neck and your head relax. Let your shoulder blades slide up your back, pressing your chest towards your thighs, pulling your belly button into the back of your spine, allowing your hips to rise to the sky. One more deep breath. Looking up at your hands, step or jump to the front of your mat. Hands on your shins, inhale halfway, long straight spine. Exhale all the way down to the floor. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bring it down through center. All right, we have arrived on our feet. Inhale, arms up into the air, grabbing onto that left wrist with your right thumb and forefinger, and just gently pulling it over to the side. A little side bend. Option to stay here, or pick up that left foot and just touch your toe off to the side, elongating through the side of your body. Now, if you're feeling it here, maybe picking up that foot and balancing. Grounding down through your right foot. Slow, steady breath. Bringing everything back into center. Exhale, bring it down through. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up. Grabbing onto the right wrist with your left thumb and forefinger, gently pulling it over to the side. Big full breaths. Option to stay here. Maybe picking up the right foot and just touching your toe off to the side. Take a breath, take a moment. And option to pick it up, balancing on one foot. Slow, steady breath. Bringing everything back into center. Exhale, bring it on through. All right, coming to the top of our mats. Feet about hip width apart. Big step back with the right foot. Rotating that foot so that your toes are pointed towards the long edge of the mat, side of your foot parallel with the short edge of the mat. Bending that left knee right over your left ankle. Warrior two. And just looking down, checking in with your alignment, your heel should be lined up with the arch of your back foot down there. Bending deeply into that left knee. Grounding down through the outside edge of your right foot. Feel the weight distribution in your feet. Is it even? Big full breaths. Are you kind of dumping a lot of the weight into your front foot? That's generally sort of like what people do. So just sending your awareness into that back foot, grounding down through the outside edge. Take a little peek behind you, make sure that back arm isn't falling down. Staring down the middle finger of your left hand. Big full breaths. Straightening out that front leg. Kicking your hip out behind you. Reaching forward, reach, dropping the back of your hand to the inside of your ankle. Right arm comes up into the air, Trikonasana. Maybe looking up at that hand. Remembering your breath. Looking down at your foot, finding your balance. Inhale to rise. Turning so that you're facing the long edge of your mat. Toes pointed forward, side of your foot parallel with the sides of your mat. Option to grab onto your belt or your strap in this moment, if you feel for it. If you don't have one, that's fine too. We're gonna hold on to our straps behind us. If you wanna fold it in half, we're just gonna hold on to it behind us. If you don't have a strap, just clasping your hands together. It's all good. Inhale, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Let those arms waterfall over your head. And you will find with the exhale, there's always a little bit of space to move into. Big full breaths with every inhale, rising up a tiny little bit. And with every exhale, moving into the space that you are creating. Two more deep breaths here. On your next inhale, starting to rise back up to stand. And just putting the strap off to the side for a moment. Turning towards the back of your mat, rotating that right foot so that your toes are pointed forward. Bending that knee. Finding your warrior two. And again, just checking in with your alignment, that front heel lined up with that back arch. Take a little peek behind you, make sure that back arm isn't falling down. And sending your awareness down into the outside edge of that back foot. Really grounding down, making sure that your weight is evenly distributed from the front of your body to the back of your body. Can you bend more deeply into that front knee? One more breath, straightening out that leg, kicking that hip out to the back. Well, I guess it's the front of your mat, but kicking that hip out, reaching forward, reach until you can't reach anymore, dropping the back of your hand to the inside of your ankle. Left arm comes up into the sky, Trikonasana. Maybe gazing up at that hand. We're here for a breath. Looking down at your foot, finding your balance. Inhale to rise. Turning back open towards the long edge of your mat. Water break, take a sip of water. Super important to stay hydrated in this heat. Our bodies are like 80% water, maybe more, like a lot of water. So just be good to yourself. Pointing your toes out towards the corners of your mat. Inhale, arms up into the air, lengthen. Exhale, squat it down. Making any little adjustments in your feet. And trying to keep the torso tall and straight. We have a tendency to kind of lean forward a little bit. Try and keep it tall and strong. Big full breath. Hands on your knees. Let's drop the right shoulder down. Left shoulder comes up into the sky. Twist it out. Take a breath in your twist. You'll feel this in your right shoulder. So juicy. I love shoulders. Bring it back up into center. Other side. Dropping your left shoulder down. Right shoulder up. Twist it out. Inhale back up to center. Take a breath. And straightening out the legs. Amazing. Turning back towards the front of your mat. Big step forward. Take a breath. Take a sip of water. Inhale, arms up into the air. Exhale all the way down to the floor. Hands flat, stepping back into downward facing dog. Take a moment here. Take a breath. Maybe you're still pedaling out the legs. Let's lift the right leg up into the air, swinging it through. Replacing the right hand with your right foot. Drop that left knee down onto the mat. Take a moment, find your balance. Inhale to rise. Sending the hips forward and down. Right knee directly over that right ankle. Option for a little tiny back bend here. And don't get yourself all tripped out over back bends. Back bends don't have to be like that beautiful, like inverted wheel. No, not necessarily. It can just be something as simple as lifting from the chest a little bit. And when my yoga teacher started explaining to me about back bends and lifting from the chest, honestly, I felt like a new world had been opened up to me. I was like, I can't do back bends, but anybody can do a back bend. Just let the shoulders drop away from your ears, lifting from the chest, and just gazing up at the ceiling. That's really all there is to it. Don't let it trip you out. Let's bring the cactus arms out to the side. Shoulder blades come together behind us. Hips are still going forward and down. Big full breaths. Inhale, both arms up into the air. Exhale, open up to the right. Right arm reaching to the back, left arm reaching to the front. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, open up to the left. Left arm reaching to the back, right arm reaching to the front. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, both hands down on the inside of this right foot here. So palms flat, fingers spread out wide, arm bones stacked on top of each other. Hips are still coming forward and down. And we're just gonna take a moment here. We're gonna take a couple of breaths and we're gonna let the pose do the work for us. So this is a hip opener. Your right knee directly over your right ankle. And those hips are still coming forward and down. Let's take one more breath. Now sending your awareness down into your right foot, we're just gonna rotate that foot so that your toes are pointed away from your body. Let that knee fall open. Just let it wing right out. Now, as your knee falls open, the arch of your foot might rise up off the floor, and that's totally cool. Just go with it. You can kind of move your foot around and find your comfort level here. So, options. You can twist it out. You can turn around and kind of look behind you. You can hang out here with your palms flat, with your arm bones stacked on top of each other. Or if you're really craving, you can come down onto your forearms and hang out here close to the earth. Wherever you end up, we're going to hang out here for a couple of deep breaths. So I just want to mention here that the movement and the sensation here should be coming from your hip, okay? If this is painful for your knee or your ankle, just take it back a notch, okay? There's something going on there. There should not be any sensation going on in your knees or your ankles. It's all from the hip. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. And on your next breath, we're gonna bring that knee back in, bring that foot back flat on the floor, bring those toes back in parallel with the mat, tucking your toes behind you, lifting your hips, and we're just gonna drop that foot into your pigeon. So your right shin is on the floor in front of you, and you're gonna use your left toes behind you just to straighten that leg out long and strong. So before we drop down, proud pigeon, inhale, lengthening from the toes to the crown of your head. Take a couple of breaths. Just allowing the body to slowly open up. And on your next exhale, coming down to the earth, you can come down onto a block or a blanket or just onto your mat, onto the carpet, onto the grass. It's all good. Big, full breaths. Let your hips be heavy. Maybe take a sip of water. Two more deep breaths. And on your next inhale, starting to rise back up, tucking your toes, lifting your hips, and stepping back into downward dog. Woo, that's a big one, eh? You feel that? Holy. Take a couple of moments here just to pedal it out and just kind of give yourself, like any little movements that your body is craving right now. Feeling very, very different on both sides of your body. All right, left leg comes up into the air, swinging it through to the front of your mat, replacing that left hand with your left foot. We're gonna drop the right knee, the right leg down to the earth. Just taking a moment here. Arm bones stacked on top of each other, palms flat. Hips are coming forward and down. Let the pose do the work for you, just for a moment, just for a couple of breaths. That left knee is directly over your left ankle. Palms flat, fingers spread out wide, arm bones stacked on top of each other. Beautiful. Now, take a moment, find your balance. Let's inhale to rise. Bring it up tall. Hips are coming forward and down. Little tiny back bend. Palms are facing each other, gazing up at the space in between your palms, lifting from the chest. Shoulders drop away from your ears. Baby back bend. Cactus arms come out to the side, shoulder blades come together behind you, still lifting from the chest, hips going forward and down. Beautiful. Inhale, both arms up into the air. Exhale, open up to the right. Right arm reaching to the back, left arm reaching to the front. Don't lose that bend in your front knee. Inhale, back up to center. Other side, open up to the left. Left arm to the back, right arm to the front. Don't lose that bend in your front knee. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, both hands down on the inside of this left foot here. Now, sending your awareness into that left foot, let's just turn the toes away from your mat. Little rotation there. And then allow the knee to wing open. Just allow the knee to fall open. And as it does, the arch of your foot will come up off the mat. Just allow that to happen. So option to stay here with your palms flat and your arm bones stacked. Or you can reach your left arm around your back and kind of twist it out if that feels good for your body. Or you can come down onto your forearms and hang out here. And I just want to remind you one more time, because it's so important, this should not be painful for your knees or your ankles, okay? The rotation is coming from your hip. So if your knee hurts or tingles or anything funny like that, just take it back a notch, okay? Yoga is very, very subjective, and we all have different bodies and flexibilities and strengths. So always listen to what your body is telling you. So we're just going to hang out here for a couple of breaths. And you might find on the exhale, hip is going to open up a little tiny bit more with every breath. Two more deep breaths. On your next inhale, starting to bring it back up to rise. Tucking your toes behind you. Bringing that left foot back down to the earth, parallel with the mat. Lifting the hips up to the sky. And we're just going to bring that left shin down onto the mat into that pigeon. Take a moment, hips squared to the front of the mat, using the toes on your right foot just to straighten out that leg behind you. Proud pigeon, take a moment, take a breath. Appreciate the length that you're feeling right now from your toes, up your legs, up your torso to the crown of your head. Such beautiful length in the proud pigeon. Big full breaths. And slowly and gently starting to find your way down to the mat, down to your block. Big full breaths. Let your hips be heavy. It's easy to feel heavy in this heat, don't you think so? We all feel like a bunch of wet towels anyways. Keep those hips square to the front of the mat. Let's take 2 more deep cleansing breaths. On your next inhale, starting to find your way back up, tucking your toes, lifting your hips, stepping back into downward facing dog. Woohoo! Feel that? That's pretty cool, eh? We're going to take just a couple of breaths here. Let those shoulder blades slide up your back and just give yourself permission to make any funky little movements in your body just to help release that super deep stretch that we just did. Wiggle your hips, bend your knees. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to hop into a little squat. So we're going to hop into the center of our mat, toes facing out, drop the booty, coming into a squat. And I gotta say, everybody has a favorite posture and like the posture that they dislike the most. And really, squat is like my favorite posture. It's so simple. There's so much going on here. Make any little adjustments that you need to in your feet. There's so much room for growth in a squat. I've been teaching yoga for about 6 years, and honestly, I notice so many people like struggle with keeping their feet flat or with the knees, but equally as many people that struggle with it, I see so much improvement with regular practice. So I like to include the squat in pretty much almost every single class because it's just such a simple, effective, wonderful, wonderful pose. Anyways, ode to the squat. It's so good. Long, straight spine, shoulders back and down. Let's extend the right arm out beyond the right knee. Drop that hand down flat, fingers spread out wide. Reaching the left arm up into the air. Long, straight line. Twisting the chest open towards that left hand. Bring it back down into center. Other side, reaching your left hand out beyond your left knee, and the right arm comes up into the sky. Twisting your chest open towards that right hand. Bringing it back around into center. We'll take a couple more breaths here. I encourage you to grab a sip of water. Stay hydrated, my friends. Dropping the booty down onto the mat. Relief. Extending the right leg out. Left leg comes in close. Turning your torso towards this foot like it's a bullseye. So option to grab onto your belt or your strap. If you want to use it here, you're more than welcome to. Hooking that strap around the small of your foot, the ball of your foot. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, forward fold, reaching your chest towards your toes. Flexing that foot, pulling the toes in towards your face. If you're not using a belt or a strap, you're reaching for your shin, your ankle, your foot, or your toes. And just checking in with your left shoulder and making sure that it's not creeping up towards the ceiling. Keep those shoulders balanced as we reach our chest towards our toes. Big full breath. On the inhale, bring it back up to rise. If you're using your strap, just drop it off to the side for a moment. Left hand comes beside the left hip. Right arm comes up and over. And we're just gonna roll over that left knee, grounding down through the right foot, reaching over, big stretch. Just coming into your own expression of this pose, lengthening from your toes to your fingertips. And on the exhale, bringing the booty back down to the earth. Switching sides, left leg comes out, right leg comes in. Turning your torso towards this foot like it's a bullseye. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Using your strap or belt, if you have one. Reaching for your shin, your ankle, your foot or your toes if you don't. Flexing the foot, pulling the toes in towards your face. And just checking in with your right shoulder, making sure that it's not creeping up towards the ceiling. Keep those shoulders balanced with each other. Big full breaths with every inhale rising up a little tiny bit. And with every exhale, folding forward. On your next inhale, bring it back up. Right hand comes beside your right hip, fingertips pointed away from you. Left arm comes up and over. And we're gonna roll over the right knee, grounding down through that left foot, reaching, coming into your own full expression of the pose. Sending those hips up towards the sky. And on the exhale, bringing the booty back down to the earth. Bringing our feet together in front of us, soul to soul. Now, if you're somebody who has lower back pain or sciatica, you're just gonna move your feet out a little bit further away from your body because that's just gonna allow you to target those muscles a little bit more in the small of your back, which is what you want. But if you're not a lower back pain person, you can bring them in closer and it's just gonna move the target from your back to your groin and your hip area here. Inhale, lengthening through the spine, lengthening through the neck. Exhale, forward fold. Give your toes a little wiggle. Big full breath. And let's inhale, bring it back up to rise. Grabbing onto your big toes with your peace fingers. We're gonna lift up the legs, coming into a big V. And the tricky part here, you want to keep your spine long and straight, lifting from the chest and finding that little sweet spot to balance. Gently dropping the legs. Big V energy. Grounding down through the heels, pulling the toes in towards your face. Inhale, arms up. Lengthening through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. After all those hip openers, you're probably really feeling it, you know, in the hips and the groin. It's so good, though. It's yoga magic, you guys. So your own expression, you might reach for your toes or your feet. You might come down on your forearms. Whatever you feel. One more breath. Before we start to rise, bring it back up tall, crossing the legs in front of you, hands on your knees, long, tall spine, and just dropping the right ear to the right shoulder. And paying attention to what's going on here in your neck. We all have a tendency of carrying a lot of stuff in our shoulders and our necks. So just take a moment. Deep, full breaths, and allow that to gently open, so gently. And as that happens, we can pick up our right hand and add a little bit of weight, just resting your hand on your head. And if you find a sore spot, you know, you can just take a moment and find your way into it. Give yourself any love that you need. Gently release, coming back up into center. Give your shoulders a little roll. And let's do the other side, dropping your left ear to your left shoulder. And just take a moment here, take a couple of breaths. Allow that side of your neck to gently open. Just give it a breath, give it a moment. And now picking up the left hand, add a little tiny bit of weight, just resting your left hand on the side of your right side of your head. If we slowly allow things to open up over time, instead of just kind of like jumping right into it to begin with, you'll find a lot more space to open up into. Gently release, coming back up into center. Inhale, arms up into the air, palms facing each other. Exhale, bring it down through center. Shoulders drop away from your ears. And at the end of class, we find ourselves right where we started, back at the beginning. This is the cycle of our practice, of our day, of our week, and everything in between. Namaste to all. Have a beautiful summer day. Stay hydrated. And I will see you guys next time. Namaste.